COPWATCH, policing the police every single day.
Dissolving the department, but now is the best time.
Conversation going, and it sounds drastic to a lot of folks. One Fort Myers city leader wants to talk about completely dissolving the Fort Myers Police Department and asking the Lee County Sheriff's Office to go ahead and provide law enforcement in the city.
Fox 4's Rachel Lloyd at FMPD with the story.
Councilman Fred Burson recently put this item on the city's agenda. He says he's not for or against dissolving the department, but now is the best time to start that conversation again. But a law enforcement expert says it's a bad idea altogether. An idea to replace these black and white Fort Myers police cars with green and gold Lee County Sheriff's cars and turn FMPD officers into deputies.
Well, I'm not really suggesting they should take it over. I want to have a discussion about it.
Councilman Fred Burson says with Fort Myers Police Chief Derek Diggs looking for work outside of the state, now's the time to have the talk about LCSO taking over. FMPD says they haven't been formally made aware of the upcoming conversation. In a statement, they said our department will continue to focus on our mission of reducing violent crime lower than the 51% reduction already achieved and engaging with our community without outside distractions. LCSO already provides services to unincorporated Lee County, Fort Myers Beach, Estero, and Bonita Springs.
When I look at that,
Dr. David Thomas, law enforcement expert and forensic studies professor at Florida Gulf Coast University, says adding Fort Myers to the list is a bad call.
For a city the size of Fort Myers, I don't see a pro to this at all.
Burson also said he pushed to keep as many FMPD officers employed by LCSO as possible and protect their pensions. Dr. Thomas says that sounds like a nice gesture, but it's easier said than done.
So you're literally going to have to negotiate with the sheriff to make sure that they're allowed to stay in the pension system and that the sheriff is willing to pay their pension.
Mayor Kevin Anderson says the community should have the final say on whether or not LCSO takes over the duties of FMPD.
If there is an interest on the part of council to do that, I would fight that it only be done through a referendum with the people voting on it.
City leaders will discuss this in their next council meeting on May 17th. In Fort Myers, Rachel Lloyd, Fox 4.
6 tonight, allegations of police misconduct uncovered. These Fort Myers police documents were kept secret for years, almost completely blacked out. Now we're hearing from the man who says they're all about him. Wink News investigative reporter Lauren Sweeney live in the studio. Lauren, what did the former police chief have to say about all of this?
Well, Dennis Eads, who was the interim chief of the department back in 2016, says he knew about allegations that officers leaked information to drug dealers and compromised investigations, but he chose not to open an internal investigation because none of it was true. A long-awaited reveal. Since 2017, the Fort Myers Police Department has refused to release these pages from an audit of the department.
It was not Dr.
Until now. After numerous requests from the media, city council, and the police union over the years, they finally gave us one page without redactions. One page that starts out by talking about the, quote, then chief of police.
I would say 100% yes, they're talking about me.
Dennis Eads was the then chief in 2016 when the city decided to hire the Free Investigations Group to the tune of $300,000 tax dollars to look into the police department. The result? A new police chief and lots of recommendations to improve the department. But what made the most headlines? Allegations that officers leaked information to drug dealers. Rumors Eads says he knew about before the Free Group ever came to town. Why didn't you ever launch an internal investigation?
When I would ask for some sort of evidence or anything to corroborate it, I would always receive the same thing, which was nothing. And at the time that the agency, not necessarily me as so much, but the agency itself was under a lot of scrutiny from the media, reference racial tensions within the agency, without the agency, and both of these individuals are African American. I absolutely was not going to launch an investigation.
The individuals he's referencing, Captain Melvin Perry and Officer Jason Jackson. Perry, Jackson, and 2 others were put on leave after Chief Derek Diggs got a look at the Free Group's findings. The FBI launched an investigation, and 4 years later, no criminal charges for any of the officers.
To me, it's a lot of fabrication, a lot of fairy tale.
A tale that still doesn't have an ending. The department claims the remaining pages of the report are part of an active investigation. but it's a chapter the police union wants closed once and for all.
I'll continue to fight until the full truth is out. It's coming. I don't know exactly when, but I do know there will be an end to this.
The department wouldn't answer my questions today. Now, Matt Sellers, the head of the police union you just heard from, says he believes the active investigation keeping the rest of these pages from being released is a federal murder case. I've actually comprehensively reported on that connection, and you can see my prior stories on the Wink News app. Chris.
Lauren, thank